And we are back with another episode of the Wrasslin Roundtable podcast, where we are recording this less than a week before SummerSlam, the first two-night SummerSlam in WWE history. We got a lot to talk about regarding that pay-per-view, PLE that we're both looking forward to. But um, I'm Ryan Hall, Dominique Larue joining us as always. And Dom, we got to start with some sad news here because um, as I'm sure you've heard if you haven't been living under a rock, that the great Hulk Hogan has passed away at the age of 71, I believe it was. Um, and I can guarantee you, we're both similar in age, but I can guarantee you that neither one of us would be the wrestling fan that we are today if it wasn't for the immortal Hulk Hogan.
Yes, absolutely. Minus the person who was the character. The character of Hulk Hogan um was, he was very pivotal in wrestling fans all across the globe. Uh, he definitely was the driving force of WWF at the time. And he was the, let's see, how would you how would you name him in a baseball kind of name? Maybe I was about to say Pete Rose, not Pete Rose, but uh he was my guy, played for the Yankees. Um
Like the Aaron Judge, the Shohei Ohtani of his time.
or back in the old days, the guy that played, he pitched and he hit.
Babe Ruth, yeah.
He was the Babe Ruth of wrestling. Yeah. Uh I mean, I can't even, no one as a wrestling fan cannot sit here and say that Hulk Hogan is not on a Mount Rushmore in some form or fashion.
Yeah,
Because without him, it definitely wouldn't be where we are now as wrestling fans. So
yeah, completely. I'm not going to say that he saved the wrestling business, but we went from the spectacles of, you may have a stadium show, but you're not going to have the pomp and circumstance that you have today. And I truly believe that guys like himself and Ric Flair and the Macho Man and the, stars from that era, we're gonna watch in 6 days' time as we're recording this. We're gonna watch in 6 days' time a pro wrestling show in a giant football stadium that's gonna have pyro and music performances, and it's going to be streamed in 4K on Netflix. But you went from the smoky high school gyms of the 50s and 60s,
on the backyard.
or in the backyard, exactly, to football stadiums streamed on 4K on Netflix, or on Peacock, to of today. And a big reason for that, I believe, is the star power that Hulk Hogan had. Now, you could argue that during the 80s, when he was at his peak, like in the mid 80s, from like 86 to about 89, there were a few people in the world who were more famous than that man. I mean, you could probably count Pope John Paul II. You could probably count President Reagan. But you know, these are the Mr. T, for that matter. One of the most famous people of the last 50 years, and he was a pro wrestler.
Did you say Hulk Hogan was the very first wrestler turned actor?
I
You
could
know,
say
we
that.
say we
Yeah,
sit here and
no,
debate, The Rock and Batista and John Cena so on and so forth. I mean, Hope was the man that, you know, he wrestled and then he was on TV shows and cereal boxes and this, that, and the third. I mean, he was a well household name. I mean, you can
Th-
walk
th-
and not
There
hear
was a
Hulk Hogan.
Saturday morning cartoon called Hulk Hogan Rockin' Wrestling.
Right. I almost forgot about that. That is, I mean, obviously that's showing our age, but yeah, that's golly. I mean, Hulk Hogan was the 80s, early 90s.
He really, dude, we're not, we're not exaggerating because, even people who were not wrestling fans growing up, people in our 40s and 50s who were
Hulk
not
Hogan,
wrestling fans growing up, they all know who Hulk Hogan was.
he was in Rocky.
Yes. He was Thunder Lips for crying out loud.
Exactly. So this man was a global icon.
Yeah, he really was. He really was. And, you know, we would not be sitting here today having this conversation about pro wrestling at the level that we watch it and we enjoy it and we still, that we still enjoy it. I don't believe if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan.
Yes, he was one of the most important trailblazers of professional wrestling, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not going to sit here and say that the man, Terry Bollea, was a saint, but his impact on pro wrestling can't be overlooked.
No, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. And I hate that we even have to go there, but, to call him, to say that he had a complicated legacy would, to not just to kind of gloss over that fact that he had a complicated legacy, I think would be doing the man an injustice
Right.
because, I mean, he was a human being. He was a complicated guy.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna get into details of it, but let's
Yeah.
just say,
Yeah.
like, that the person, we have some strong feelings about, but the character, once again,
Oh,
that's the
absolutely.
most important part that we loved and we cherished and like got us into professional wrestling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I've been thinking a lot about what my favorite Hulk Hogan moment was. And I just keep coming back to WrestleMania 18.
Yeah.
I just keep coming back to WrestleMania 18 against The Rock. Was it a technical classic? Absolutely not. That was not Hulk Hogan's game. But it was one of the finest storytelling moments I think any of us have ever seen in a pro wrestling ring. I mean, those two guys had that crowd eating out of their hands.
I mean, The Rock shift from being a babyface to a heel mid-match.
He did.
Like, that's, I mean, you got to be in terms of wrestling fans. I mean, you have to be a maestro to sit there and play with the fans' emotions like that. I mean, because they were going in thinking that Hulk was going to be the heel, he's the babyface, but then when the crowd was shifting and going with Hogan and The Rock since that he changed, he pivoted. So
Which I think is a testimony to just how good both of those guys are.
it wouldn't have been called an icon versus icon match if it wasn't.
Exactly, exactly. And we were talking before the show. Do you even remember what the main event of that WrestleMania was? Because I sure don't.
To be honest, I thought that was the main event.
It wasn't. It was the co-main event.
It was a co-main event, but yeah, it wasn't it 18. Was it okay? What WrestleMania was that again? 18.
18, 18, yeah.
Ironically enough, that's crazy because the year before, that was Stone Cold versus The Rock for the world title
Mm-hmm.
with the most iconic promo video of all time. Limp Bizkit My Way, and Stone Cold turning heel. I want to say Triple H for some reason. I believe it was Triple H and
Triple H, I think it was Triple H and Jericho in the main event.
Jericho. Yeah,
I think.
possibly.
Yeah.
I want to say because I mean, if The Rock and take excuse me, not Taker, if The Rock and Hulk Hogan wasn't the main event, then it has to either be Undertaker, Triple H, or Stone Cold. So, oh, I
Which,
mean, not to forget the one of the greatest, Mr. WrestleMania himself, Shawn Michaels, but
of course.
you gotta kind of, I gotta have my notes here for to remember who was the main event.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I got to look that up myself because it's going to bug
Yeah.
me.
But I distinctly remember that when you say 18, I instantly thought about 17 because of Stone Cold and The Rock. But my favorite Hulk Hogan moment, besides that moment, I believe, obviously, I have two favorite moments. Number one, for sure, is when he left WWF at the time, ended up on WCW, and not only ended up on WCW, he turned heel. And when he turned heel, and to see all those people tossing drinks, food, shoes, whatever they could grab and throw, probably is one of the most iconic moments as a kid to see your hero, one of your heroes, like just turn. It was like a knife in the gut.
It- You're, I think that kind of points to the longevity of his star power because, let's face it, kind of early 90s, his star was kind of fading out a little bit.
Yeah, it was burning up.
But this was 1996 that we're talking about here. Now Hulk Hogan's peak was, like 84 to about 89. And the mere fact that when he did that, when he pulled that heel move, that launched another wrestling boom. Just the mere fact that he made that move, it launched another wrestling boom. Helped to, it helped to give birth to the Monday Night Wars. It helped to give birth, in my opinion, to the Attitude Era,
It was
which
a big bang theory.
it really was. It really was. And when he dropped that leg on Randy Savage's neck,
Shockwaves.
shockwaves,
Like
shockwaves. And then when he cut that promo with Mean Gene and Hall and Nash in the ring, getting having beer bottles and all that stuff being thrown on him.
it just sinks.
When he exactly when he cut that promo was gold. That promo was absolute gold.
I think without if Hulk Hogan would have never put it off, um, a lot of stuff wouldn't have happened. Without him doing that, we wouldn't have got Rock versus Hogan. We wouldn't have got we wouldn't have got Goldberg. We wouldn't have got all the wrestlers like you could think of at WCW. Probably would have never got them if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan pulling it. And that's a lot of generations we're talking.
That's also a lot of pressure too.
A lot of pressure. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because some of my favorite moments of the Monday Night War were Lex Luger beating Hulk Hogan for the championship.
Goldberg beating Hulk Hogan for the
Bill
championship.
Goldberg beating Hulk Hogan for the championship.
Kevin Nash being good Bill Goldberg for the championship.
Yes.
Um, Mick Foley beating the Rock for the WWE WWF championship at the time. Um, DX pulling off the infamous invasion on WCW in a tank, by the way.
Yes.
Like
In Norfolk, Virginia. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget those videos.
pulling up to their building, wanting them to open the door. Like it was a time to live for sure for wrestling fans.
It really
I
was.
mean, obviously they talk about AEW and this and that and the third, but like nothing compares to WCW versus WWF those years. I mean, frantic fans back then, and you had to choose a side.
You absolutely had to choose a side. Yeah. And, you know, I'll admit, I was team WCW until the ship started sinking.
I was team WCW. I had favorites. Booker T, Goldberg. Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. Like the list goes on. And then shout out to a buddy of mine. We talked about this at my job. Um, he was a big WCW fan. Like he said, the best matches were WCW. Like, cause like with WCW, you had your heavyweights, you had this, that, and third. But what really carried WCW was the luchadors, the cruiserweight.
The cruiserweights, absolutely.
Like that was some fantastic matches, and just Eddie and Ray alone. And then the fact that Dean Malenko, he ain't even a cruiserweight, but like I always seen him as a cruiserweight because all his great matches were with cruiserweights.
Benoit, another
Benoit
example.
is another
Yeah,
example. Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, all of his matches, all of the just classics that he had with Eddie.
Oh my God. The you could tell they were best friends because the way they just moved in the ring together and like the reversals and it was like an even flow with them. Like it was nothing like it was always fast paced. It wasn't like something slow, methodical, this and the third. Obviously Benoit get him in a headlock or something, and then Eddie reverse out of that or do something. But it was just yeah, WCW is what AEW wants to be, as far as in ring competition. It's some
Exactly.
great, it's some great competition now in AEW. I'm not slacking on that, but the the competition and just the even flow of some of the matches in WCW, it can't even be compared.
I mean, give me early Monday Night Wars
Absolutely, absolutely.
as compared to what AEW seems to be becoming, like 99 to 2000 WCW.
Like they got, not to have a whole episode about AEW, but there's some storylines in AEW that I do, appeal to. It's just I wish they wouldn't have so much going on with all these different promotions within one company.
Yeah.
Like separate, like do what WWE is doing. All right. We got AAA. AAA is its own entity. NXT is its own entity. We may sprinkle NXT in here every so often, but they're their own entity.
TNA, don't
We
forget
got
them.
TNA, yes, TNA and NXT is together. That's fine. Why don't you do that for Wednesday night is solely AEW. Friday night you only have an hour, so why not just sprinkle all those promotions into that slot
Yeah.
instead of trying to do all that and then. But hey, Tony Khan's rich. That's his promotion. You
Yeah.
know, I'm all for that. I'm all for the promotions because that gives people a outlet for them and to support their families. So
There's an outlet. There's an outlet. People can enjoy it if they choose.
exactly. I mean, like I'm not gonna complain. We were wrestling fans, so like it don't matter AEW, AAA, NXT, New Japan Wrestling, TNA, whatever. We're gonna eat. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're in a really good time of year too.
yes,
Yeah,
very very good time in the thick of things.
absolutely. Absolutely. But before we move on to SummerSlam, just, one more time, you know, the man behind Hulk Hogan, to say he was complicated is an understatement, but the character, the say your prayers, take your vitamins, what you gonna do, brother?
22-inch pythons.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, one of the most important figures in the history of this game.
And thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you'll be missed. You'll definitely be
Yeah,
missed. Yeah.
no doubt.
All right. So as we're recording this, we are 6 nights before SummerSlam Saturday. And I gotta say, this show is shaping up to be really freaking good. There's a lot of there's a lot of possibilities of just world changing stories coming out of that. There's a lot of possibilities of some just incredible matches coming out of this. Um,
Wild moments.
Wild moments, absolutely. And I just hope that they figure out how to get fans out of that stadium on both Saturday and Sunday night. Because it's like,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, because it's like, as Dom and I were talking before the show, when they had WrestleMania there last, it was an absolute nightmare with the New Jersey train system getting people back to New York.
and it was late. What late night?
Oh, I mean, the show ended well after midnight Eastern time. I think it was close to 1 a.m. Eastern time.
Mm.
Um, just the mere fact of just being stuck in a crowd for that long, you want to get out of there. You want to go home. You want to go back to your just the mere fact of being stuck in that crowd for so long just makes me anxious just thinking about it.
I mean, it was it'd be crappy to be stuck in there for a long time. But I mean, hey, Cardi B gonna be there.
Yeah, so they say, so they say, so they say.
So they say, she's the host.
Yeah.
Host. I mean, last time we had a host, I mean, it didn't go too well. Yeah, I don't want to bring his name up. Drew
Yeah,
Drew already taught him a piece of what? Correct. See,
speaking of Drew McIntyre, is he going to be able to make it back home in time for that show? Because a story broke out that he and his wife were stuck out in Scotland after having lost their passports.
lost their passports. Their passports. Like WWE is a global product.
Yeah,
They're going all over the world. After SummerSlam, I think they're getting ready to do their what Paris tour or whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah. During the Europe tour.
So like I hope this is a film. This is pro
Yeah, yeah.
wrestling.
I hope we're being worked. Yeah.
I hope I hope we're being worked. But if we're not, that is a serious problem that they have on their hands, and I wouldn't be shocked if the writers' room is on fire.
Yeah, when I came home from work, we drove by the WWE building, and there were definitely some lights going on.
Because I mean, they obviously their game plan, they have all these things like, all right, what if somebody get injured? What if somebody this and that? But I don't, I'm not finna say they don't plan for what if somebody can't make it, but I don't think they have too many ideas for that particular topic.
Because
So
let's face it, there's a lot of money in that match, And you know Jelly Roll and Logan Paul and Randy Orton, they're not working for free. They're not working.
Especially Jelly Roll and Logan Paul.
Yeah, you know they're paying them very well for this.
Say what you want, Logan Paul is a superstar, this, that, the third, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I'm not hearing that. Logan Paul is a celebrity superstar.
Yes.
He leaves WWE, he's still fine. He got Prime, he got his podcast, he got all this other stuff. He got a TV show, he this, that.
Yeah,
But
YouTube.
a superstar like Drew or Randy, who has been doing this for 20 plus years. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't have any other things outside of WWE, but I mean, their bread and butter is WWE. General, he leaves WWE. I mean, obviously he's just doing this appearance, but he has his music. So, I mean, I know you follow me here. That means Drew needs to be in that match.
Or they need to figure out something.
Yes,
Or they need to
quick.
figure out something because there's a lot of money in that match. And it's if this is a shoot, if he's actually lost his passport, WWE's got some, they've got some pull in some of these, in some of these like foreign embassies and consulates too.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hear that. You got some passport. Y'all got private jets. I'm not trying to hear none of that. And
But
y'all got
I mean, to be fair, you still got to present your passport at customs when you come home. But still,
But our U.S. president was a person who participated in a WWE event. He's best friends with the guy that retired that used to own WWE. So I think he got some pull.
yeah. And let's also not forget whose son-in-law, what his son-in-law does too.
Yeah, yeah. Let's let's not forget that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's just call him Voldemort for lack of a better word.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
um,
Ew, that name. But
he who shall not be named. But yeah, let's hope Drew can figure that out because that's a little bit of a problem.
how you lose your passport? I don't like. I mean, it's easy to lose your passport. I get it, but like for
I
a
have
person
lost my
who's
passport, but I'm not a WWE superstar.
like they travel every day. Like I don't understand how could you lose it when that is one of the most pivotal things you need in your luggage to go to these tours that y'all go on.
And all the international tours that they do.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem.
True. We
But
just we just went to go look and we wanted to get the SummerSlam. Okay, we're not judging you. We're not any kind of way. We understand it happens. We're humans,
life
but
happens. Life be lifing.
life be life. But
Yeah.
I mean, next
So
time, just give it to your wife. Your wife, I'm sure she does a great job keeping things organized. So,
as women usually do.
yes, absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. All right. Shout out to our women listeners. But um what I want to do is I want to talk about I don't want to go down each one of these matches because we've got like 6, 7 matches on each show
Yeah.
on each night. But I want to touch on what I believe is going to be the match of the night, the match we're looking the most forward to. And I also want to look at a match that I think could greatly surprise people in how good it can be. Now, for me, Saturday night, the match I'm looking forward to the most, without a doubt, is Gunther and CM Punk.
Mhm.
And especially if they close night one with that match, I don't know if, I don't know if we're looking too much into this, but there could be some fireworks at the end of that match.
as we discussed before we started, uh, we the big thing about this is the placement of these matches because
Yeah.
if you're a non-wrestle fan, you wouldn't really understand, but wrestling fans, y'all understand that it's Picasso painting. You know, you have to set it up a certain way to make it perfect. And always starting off a PLE, the first match of the night really sets the tone for the entire night. Now, as we discussed, it's possible that the women's title match could kick off SummerSlam, and we're not judging it by no means. It could be a banger, but and Jay has came into her own a little bit more since she's been in WWE, but it hasn't been any build on this match at all between them two. It's just been she won the Queen of the Ring and Tiffy's the champion. And now, they throwing them in a tag team match the night before night one. So it's like they're trying their best to like last minute build heat on that match. And, we're not saying that we're not looking forward to the match, but it's definitely overlooked compared to all the other matches that are on the card. And one of the matches that I'm interested in is the Karrion Cross and Sami Zayn match. Um
Completely.
it's been a lot of back and forth between them two. And then with Karrion gaining this fandom out of, I mean, not out of the blue because we liked him since NXT,
Sure.
but he's been kind of like posting, with the AOPs and just been backstage or whatever, and then finally he cuts that infamous promo, and then fans are behind him and cheering him on, and like we mentioned in the pod previous episodes of where anybody he talks to has either became a heel or got really aggressive after having an encounter with him. So now, with Sammy, Sammy's the ultimate underdog. He's one of the biggest baby faces in WWE at the moment. And Karrion is like pushing this button of like, you living a lie. You want to tell us the truth. Let that other side out, right? So that's a very interesting piece of storyline that entices me, and that's one of the matches I'm interested in. But my match of the night, to piggyback off of you, is definitely the world title match. But you know me, we're a big fan of him. Obviously I'm a big fan of both of the guys. I'm very excited to see Roman back in the ring. But my guy Jay Uso, I'm ready to see
Now,
how that Jersey crowd gets ready for the Yeet. Because it's gonna be one of those guys in that crowd as drunk as a skunk, and I'm ready to see it.
um, yeah, it's going to be Jersey crowds are going to be a little bit different, I think. But I think that Jey Uso is going to be just over like Rover
If
Saturday.
that stadium had a roof, that roof was gonna be blown off.
Exactly. Exactly.
And yeah, just the aura that Roman has is crazy. He's definitely on the same level as the Stone Colds and the Rocks and the Undertaker and I mean John Cena. You could throw him in there anytime his music hits. Everybody's hype, or
Right.
the heel John Cena at the
Or
moment.
booing.
So
Yeah.
or
What do
booing.
you think?
So
Yeah. Where do you think they put that match in the rundown? Because, you know, Roman Reigns by himself, his star power, main event any show in any time. But I don't think it main events that night. I think you got a main event, CM Punk and Gunther.
CM Punk and Gunther, yeah.
Like I feel like it works best in like that Undertaker slot. Now, what I mean by that is not the co-main event, but like the match before the co-main event, because you usually have like a come down match after that to be able to get the crowd back into it. I kind of feel like maybe, top of the third hour.
Absolutely. I feel that way. And the reason why you said it come down because it's like you're already hyped with all the other matches. I mean, we possibly could get that tag team match night one or night two, but either way, like we're still gonna be coming off the high of the women's title. The let me check my notes here. We're coming off. We'll be coming off the women's tag team title. Depending on where they put Randy Orton and Jelly Roll and Drew and Logan, and then we still got Jade. So it really depends on like what match is before them, but then also you have to take into consideration that this tag team match is just a tag team match. There's no stipulation to it. It's no like as far as we're discussing right now, it's no surprises. But who's to say that it might not be a surprise? You know, who's to say that Seth hasn't, been recruiting since he been on this little injury? So
Are you saying it may be a work?
I mean, hey, we've
Yeah,
discussed this on this episode many times, and
yeah, my friend. Yes, we
if you
have.
know anything about WWE, and quote me if I'm wrong, they never gave a timeline on his injury. They just said he's gonna be out for a long time. Now, you know, kayfabe here. When somebody say a long time, it's either it could be 6 months from now, 2 months from now, a year from now, but the man is a Money in the Bank winner. He has two guys, two big fellas who can do his dirty work, and he can limp in that ring and pin whoever has that belt and limp right back out with that belt. So, you know,
And hold that belt hostage.
I'm trying to tell y'all, you know, been trying to tell WWE, I've been telling folks whoever listens to this tonight, we want our residuals, okay? Because we've been giving y'all some juice. And I mean, like Mello don't miss. I mean, come on now, you know.
Got yeah.
Come on,
I mean,
we ain't missed once. I mean, we missed a couple, but it's some big ones we had. So
I kind of nailed the whole "I hate you" solo moment from Jacob Fatu. So just
I mean,
just saying. No, I'm saying. Uh,
you ain't, you know. So I'm just telling y'all, tell you, you better hop on this gravy train before it takes off, because
yeah, send us our royalties by Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal.
about all that. We'll figure it out. If
Yeah,
you want to throw chime in, I start a chime account. You know, man.
there you go. There you go, man. There you go. Or if you want to just, you know, have me drop by and pick up some cash, I'll forward my half the dime.
Well, yeah, like I said, PayPal because not PayPal, Cash App because that's one of the sponsors of WWE now since they got
Ah,
Big E and Jey Uso on it. So,
but of course.
but I'm looking forward for night one. Definitely looking forward to that championship match because I mean this is the first, well, excuse me, second championship match that CM Punk has been in since what 14 years ago or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, something
I
like
mean,
that.
I've obviously he had one against John Cena, but we knew he wasn't going to beat John Cena. Come on, forgive me, but he has an opportunity. He has all the opportunity in the world to beat Gunther, and it doesn't hurt Gunther. I mean, obviously, some of them diehard wrestling fans like, oh my god, he beat Gunther, and Gunther, losing to a 40-year-old man. Da, da, da." It don't matter. Look, listen, he's losing to a star. Losing to Goldberg would have been more terrible than losing to CM Punk because Goldberg is old and retired. That's a retirement match.
I've said
He
it.
would,
I've said it. Yeah, I've said it many times. If it was 1998 Bill Goldberg, I'm money. But 2025 Bill Goldberg, miss me with that.
That man broke his hand in that match.
And he's still whining about it.
He said, "What? Brother, just go to AEW and wrestle somebody and just end it like that. Just do a sting and do your retirement match like that and have people dress up like you and come out or whatever." But moving on from that,
Yes,
it's night two.
please. Let's absolutely move on from that. Night two. Thank you. Um, when it comes to the match I'm looking forward to the most, honestly, it's not even close. It's Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. That match right there has match of the year possibility.
That is
Because
big.
you've got Naomi, which is she's kind of like she's kind of balanced. You've got Rhea Ripley, who was more of the powerhouse, and Io Sky is more of the high flyer. If those give those three ladies 25 minutes and just let them cook, that's match of the year right there. That match that's going to be a hell of a match.
I agree too. I'm definitely looking forward to that match. Um, my match of the night, I might have to say Jacob and Solo in the cage match.
I can buy that. I can buy that.
It has all the writing on the wall of a absolute sl slobber knocker, as JR used to call it. And also has a great spot for some surprises. I'm still calling it. Shout out to our fellow group member Brandy. He likes to call him her husband. Tomatunga. I believe Tomatunga might make his awaited appearance and maybe help Solo. I mean, not Solo. Excuse me. Help Jacob gets that title back. But I'm all for a cage match. I mean, obviously, some cage matches could be terrible, but most of the time, 9 times out of 10, some cage matches are good. And I mean, you can't go wrong with Jacob. Um, what he like to say? He's not going back in that hole. He's not going back in the cage no more. You can't hold him down anymore. So I'm all from the boy. All gas, no break. So,
Yeah, yeah, that I mean. Yeah.
but I'm definitely interested. My second match of the night, and this ain't even a wrestling. Like, it's definitely not gonna be a technical or a spectacle in the ring. It's definitely gonna be a spectacle as far as storyline wise. And you already know where I'm going. Cody and Johnson. I
All right.
think we're finally gonna get that Roadlander that we've been waiting on. So
Do you think I'm with you, by the way. I'm with you. I think that it's high time. I, I just I think that it's high time that Cody come to the dark side. And we've started to see some nastiness in him come out. Like the contract signing angle that he had with John Cena, um, basically shoving that contract in that man's face. And there's a reason. I truly believe there's a reason why they're doing this as a street fight, as no disqualification, because you can get away with murder in a match like that.
and we know, let's be real. With all these different outside interference that could possibly happen, this is a perfect way for that to happen. Is a street fight. And then also with this street fight, like you said, it's no disqualification. So with that being said, John Cena is going to test Cody again, like he did at WrestleMania, to see if he pulls that trigger. And we've seen Cody pull that trigger numerous times. He's pulled the trigger on Randy Orton. He's pulled the trigger on Kevin Owens. He's pulled the trigger on Jey Uso. Um, I wish I could remember the guy's name that I saw on TikTok. He does a very great analysis of Cody and like John, and he calls John like John something John something something of Connecticut. It's like a long-winded out name or whatever, but he brought up all these points about what Cody has done since WrestleMania, and like he would do anything in his power, like without a shadow of a doubt, to get that belt back. And even CM Punk pointed out the fact that politician, yeah, that's right. He was pointing out the fact that everybody has called Cody a politician. Roman has called him a politician. John Cena's called him a politician. CM Punk called him a corrupt man. Because you remember that infamous promo where he looked at him and was like, you know, you you look like something's weighing you down. You know, like you look like you're cracking. And as my great brother on this pod here said, you can't dress up in a $3,000 suit, $5,000 suit, whatever how much it is, with with loafers on and the watch and the blonde slick back hair, and just think we finna sit here and think you a babyface. With that, that's cockiness written all over it, all over yourself. That is a facade that you're wearing on your body. You're literally John Cena without John Cena.
You're John Cena in a $5,000 suit.
And that's him outside of the ring. Inside of the ring, he's, plain shirt, jean, joints, whatever.
Right.
He's just in the same clothes every time. You, on the other hand, are wearing the same, not the same suit, but it's definitely like you don't change anything. Like you said, he comes out in the suit, he's not fighting. He comes out in that blazer, he comes out like in the jumpsuit, oh, he fighting.
Yeah. If you're wearing sneakers, he's fighting.
Yeah, he's wearing sneakers. I mean, if he wearing them shoes, he gonna fight. He gonna do a little dust up every now and then too in that suit. But at the end of the day, you can't sit here and come out and kiss babies and hug and do all this other stuff and do that for a long period of time. You're going to have to turn heel.
Sounds like something that happened 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago with Bash of the Beach in 1996.
Or it seemed like it happened what, a year ago or so. John Cena
Not
did it
quite a
himself.
year, not quite a year ago, just
Not quite a year ago, but
earlier this year. But my point is that your point is very well received, is that you can't continue to do this year after year after year and get away with it, because you are going to get stale, you're going to get old, and people are going to start booing you out of the building. Whereas if they finally pull the trigger with this Cody Rhodes heel turn, God, I hope they do, because that's going to be, that's going to be incredible. I think if they pull the trigger with this Cody Rhodes heel turn, you've got so many different angles to choose from. You've got, you've got so much money to pull from with that.
and you got a way to pull Bloodline back into it for that title.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because now we finally gonna be on the road to we get Roman versus the Rock.
And we're not going to stop talking about it until it happens.
You damn right. Because we ain't getting the Undertaker versus Sting. So Roman, goddamn.
Undertaker versus Sting should have happened, and I'm still pissed that it didn't happen.
I'm so upset for that. I'm so upset.
I get it, but I'm still pissed that it didn't happen.
Man, that spectacle of a storyline that could have been created would have been. They probably would have had that promo. The promo they would have cooked up would have been phenomenal.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Now, towards the end of our last SmackDown episode, we got word that we're going to have a TLC match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. 6 teams participating in this.
6. A record 6. We have never, ever, in the years of TLC, in the years of just a ladder match with teams involved, even the great teams of Edge and Christian, Dudley Boys, Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, we have never seen 6 teams in a ladder match.
And that was only 6 guys in that 3-way ladder match.
We got
There's going to be 12 guys in this.
Well,
all right. So this has the potential to either be an all-time classic, like that 3-way ladder match, like that 3-way TLC match did between the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian, or it can be an absolute train wreck.
I'm hoping for the first part because
yeah, you and me both, bro.
That second part, it definitely has the potential to be a train wreck because I mean, so it's too much chaos. Like you have three teams on this side of the ring. You got 3 teams on the other side. You got so much going on. So like, I mean, obviously they're gonna have their spots, but like 6 teams, like
And
what? Why can you manage spots for all the teams?
I feel bad for the producer who's gonna have to put that match together.
Man, something useless. I mean, like we know Montez is gonna get his spot. We know he's going to flip over that top rope or the top post and flip on like maybe 6 of those guys.
No,
So
absolutely. But let me run down the teams in case you missed last Friday's SmackDown. We got the Wyatt 6 with Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy. We've got Andrade and Rey Fenix, which is a problem in and of itself because Rey Fenix is made for matches like this. You got DIY, Gargano and Ciampa. You've got Fraxium. Nathan Frazier eats in matches like this. Axiom for that matter, but Nathan Frazier eats in matches like this.
it's a buffet for them.
Oh, please, all you can eat. You got Motor City Machine Guns, who are born for a match like this. And of course, you got Street Profits.
Which Montez Ford should be a singles competitor, by the way. But also, he eats in matches like this too because he can flip and dip wherever he wants to on a ladder, outside of the ring, on a table. It's a lot. It's a lot flipping going on.
Who in the world goes over in that match? Who can go over in that match?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not worried about what's going to happen in the match.
If honestly, I'm worried who's going to come out of that match without breaking their neck.
Breaking their neck, yeah, breaking their arm or ligament or the necks or whatever. But who rightfully deserved to come out of that match? It. I would have said Wyatt 6 if they hadn't already won the titles. If they would have just kept the titles on Street Profit for another couple weeks, like now, then I would say Wyatt 6. But now it's like, and then another thing I have a problem with this is Triple H. Why you keep taking the titles off of Street Profits like that? Like they was doing just fine with the titles on them. So why would you pull the trigger on that? And then another thing, like, this is not by no means this is not a color thing, but it is interesting to know that you put the titles on New Day and they don't do nothing with those titles. Like don't fight new team, no nothing, anything like that. You pull the trigger. But like why have them turn on Big E and you do absolutely nothing with that storyline? Like nothing. right? And we are just sitting here, me and you, just hoping like, oh yeah, they're gonna do something with Big E. Big E's coming back for sure. Or if he's not coming back, he's gonna be involved some type of way to help them lose them belts. Nothing, right? Street Profit. The whole time we like, all right, they got the belts. Here comes Montez Ford heel turn, or um D'Angelo's finna get Stevie Ray, like y'all like to say.
Right.
But nothing. It's like
Or Genetti. Let's not.
genetic, yeah. But it's nothing. Like it's like as much talent you have in the tag team division, you do nothing with the tag team because you keep recycling the same old things. And even with the good things, you don't do anything with them. Like Street Profit was fine with the belts. You could have just been fine with Street Profit, Y6, and what's the team that you said they were gonna eat? Axiom?
Yeah, Fraxium.
Fraction. Okay, yeah, fraction. Like DIY, I mean, them two are better off as singles competitors. I mean, like I get it. They was great,
I mean, they need to
but
turn on each other again for crying out
they
loud.
turn on each other to make them interesting again. Um, Motor Gun City. I got the name wrong, but anyway, the guys that Bang Bang, they need to go to a room or something. They just need to.
Yeah, because the tag team division in Raw is just nothing anyway.
And nothing, absolutely nothing. And then we just lost, which was high time for them to break up anyway. A-Town Down Under, like they should have been broke up.
I had forgotten they were still together until that segment last week.
Like I'm sorry. I hate that Austin Theory's hurt, and I'm glad he's hurt because now let's repackage him. Let's give us the Austin Theory that we deserve. Like I never would have thought 2 years ago I say this, but like it's time for him to grow. It's time for him to be a star.